lake.
There they are.
You're a real dog, you know that? 1 ball, no strikes. Bouncing ball foul, headed for the Cincinnati dugout. 1-1 the count. O'Neill playing first base in this game. He was in right field yesterday. There's the lake. That's for Mr. Stone.
Always on hand.
A strike call, so it's now 1-2. You keep this up and National Geographic will do a complete feature on you. The 1-2. Bounding ball foul.
And Jeff learned something because he kept the ball away from O'Neill. He got the ball in and up in the second inning, and he drilled it into right center field. Let's see if he tries to sink one away. He might just get that ground ball to second base again.
Here's the pitch. He just misses to run the count to 2-2. Pico working on 3 days rest. He worked on the 27th, his last start at Iowa. Fly ball, right field, Dawson. Right there for it. 1 gone. Wasn't that something about Pico and that wall of the building falling onto his car and he escaped unhurt? I'm sure you talked about that already. Generally speaking, when you're in the minor leagues, you're thinking about being promoted to a higher level, but that's not what he had in mind.
And the fact that he came on through and threw a complete game that night, despite the fact that he had no car left, shows something about him. Boy, he's been something out there this afternoon.
Dave Collins up there, shortening on the bat as if to bunt and taking the pitch for a ball.
Reds only have the 1 hit, and you start thinking about the bunt from the men who were able to do it, and this is one of the guys.
He takes this one low. A 2 ball, no strike count. Law close at third. O'Neill has gone out to right with a fly ball. Now the 2-0 pitch. And a liner, base hit the other way in the left. Collins stops at first as Palmeiro returns the ball to the infield. Second hit off Pico. This one comes with 1 out in the 5th. And snaps a string of 9 in a row. Retired by Pico.
Collins was out of a job last year, and the Reds had a few injuries, so they decided to sign him, figuring that he could run and he had some value. He went to Nashville and he played 57 games with the Reds in '87 and made the club this year.
Bo Diaz, veteran catcher. Diaz struck out his first time and takes a strike to start this time up there. Reds have dropped 3 in a row, 5 of their last 6, now 23 and 26. And they are on a big road trip. Just starting the road trip, a 13-gamer. They'll go to Los Angeles, San Diego, and San Francisco after completing the series here tomorrow. Now the stretch. Collins back in at first.
Umpires are going to be watching Jeff Pico a little more closely than they watch most pitchers, waiting to see what type of move he has, and he'll have to be very cognizant of the balk.
Ground ball, shortstop, Dunston, second base 1, first base 2. They got them both. 6-4, 3 and out on the double play. No runs, 1 hit, nobody left. We're going to the bottom of the 5th. 3-0 Cubs. Cubs are out in front here, 3-0, moving into the home half the 5th. Here's the double play to end the top of the frame.
And take a look at Rhino getting out of the way of Collins at second base, and for that inning double play, Turtle Wax will donate $100 to Cubs Care Cancer Research.
Meanwhile, Vance Law opens the bottom of the 5th inning. Law singled home a Cub run in the 2nd. Takes this pitch for a ball. 30 runs batted in for Vance Law. There's Tommy Helms managing the Reds. Pete Rose will be eligible to manage the club tomorrow. Ball 2, 2-0. Rose will have served his suspension. And Don Zimmer liking what he has seen through 5 innings from his 22-year-old right-hander Jeff Pico. Zimmer said before the game that a lot of managers would be fretting about going to the ballpark knowing that he had a couple starting pitchers disabled and he was going to have to go with a rookie to start the ball game, his first big league start. But Zimmer said he was looking forward to it. He was enthused about seeing the 22-year-old Pico pitch, and so far he's had something to be enthused about. And Law takes ball 3.
When you've spent your life in baseball, you've seen most everything by the time you get to where Don Zimmer is at this point of his career. But it's always exciting to see a young man come up in his initial game.
Strike. It's now 3-1.
And he certainly is making the most of this golden opportunity. Pico has been Mr. Everything, keeping the ball down and throwing a lot of strikes.
Fly ball, right field. Davis back on the track, and he makes the catch for the first out here in the 5th. One gone, and it brings up Sean Dunston. I want to congratulate Lindsey Nelson, who not only later this year will go into the Baseball Hall of Fame as the recipient of the Ford Frick Award, but Lindsey, who, as you know, was the broadcaster of the New York Mets and the Giants, but also a longtime broadcaster of the Cotton Bowl, picks up an award for most outstanding contribution to amateur football in their Hall of Fame, and will be awarded that honor as well this year.
But you know, there's one name conspicuously absent in that Hall of Fame, and that's Harry Carey. And Dwayne, it's something that I just can't understand.
Yeah, you're right about that. There's no question. It's awfully strange. Dunston pops up the 0-1 pitch, headed toward the stands. O'Neill's over there, but it's out of play. Of course, Lindsey Nelson goes in this year, and Jack Buck last year. There's some great names in that particular wing of the Ford Frick Award. Bob Prince, and of course Jack Brickhouse.
And you wonder what the criteria is, because if it's people affected by a broadcaster, I don't think anybody's broadcast to more people than Harry Carey.
Dunston, base hit in the hole between short and third. So Dunston on an 0-2 pitch shoots it through the left side of the infield. Well, you would think that he should be right there among all those other names that we just mentioned. Many more. Ernie Harwell. Of course, Mel Allen and Red Barber the first to go in when they started that award. We ought to think about that for a while.
We'll come up with some, because he richly deserves to be there, and hopefully in the next voting a few people will look at his career, maybe write down the amount of years he's done it, the amount of people that he's broadcast to, and the amount of people he's affected by his love and enthusiasm for the game.
Here's Jeff Pico. Pico getting a chance to bunt, takes the pitch upstairs, ball 1. We'll keep that in mind and kick that around for a while. The names: Vin Scully, Bob Elson. You'd think his name would be right there. A ball, no strikes. Soto keeping an eye on Dunston.
Rich Sheppel of Sheppel Buick here today, along with Dick Wilkins of Don McAuliffe Buick, both on hand on a beautiful day at Wrigley Field.
And the bunt. Soto will go to first. Out there, the sacrifice works. So far, Pico's been able to do everything the Cubs have asked of him, and maybe a little bit more, as he puts down the sacrifice this time. 1-4. Soto to Treadway, the second baseman, covering. Dunston up to second.
I hope that somebody back home is recording this game for the young man, because he's put an outstanding effort together early. You never know what happens during the course of a man's career, but you know one thing: they can't take these 5 innings away from him, and he's been spectacular through 5.
And he's just finished sacrificing Dunston into second. There's Jeff Pico. Now the top of the order. Dave Martinez with a chance to pick up another run batted in. The Cubs are leading 3-0. Davey officially nothing out of 2 today, and he takes the pitch in there for a strike. 26 runs batted in this year for Dave Martinez, and most of those out of the leadoff spot. There's Dunston with good speed out at second base. He pops it up left side. Larkin toward the line into foul territory, makes the catch. He almost overran the ball. Martinez out to retire the side. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. We've gone through 5 and the Cubs are out in front 3-0. From Wrigley Field, Cubs out in front 3-0. We're moving into the 6th, and Jeff Treadway, the number 8 hitter in the Reds lineup, leads off. The pitch is in there for a strike. Treadway bounced to second his first time. Jeff Pico on the hill. Foul ball the other way. 2 strikes.
Tony Perez, the hitting instructor, said that Treadway's secret is that he never overswings. He realizes that he doesn't have a whole lot of power. And you see around the major leagues a lot of guys who are home run hitters with warning track power. They hit a lot of fly ball outs. This man hits line drives.
Ground ball by the mound for Sandberg. Rhino's been busy. Throw to first in time. Sandberg in the middle of the double play in the 5th inning. Ground ball here by Treadway to open the 6th. Rhino had a ground ball in the 4th, 2 in the 3rd inning, and 1 in the 2nd inning. So Pico, utilizing the sinker, has everything falling into place so far.
And the left-handers still trying to pull him, and when they do that, they hit a lot of ground balls to second.
Mario Soto jabs and misses. Strike 1 on the bunt attempt. Belated birthday wishes to Anthony Jamsky, father of Wrigley Field crowd control supervisor Steve, and a happy birthday to Margene Thompson.
And a happy birthday to Bob Iback, and another happy birthday to Ernie Roth. They're both of Vine Line.
Soto again trying to bunt, misses. 0-2 the count on the Cincinnati pitcher. Soto has just 1 hit this year, now 1 out of 19. This one low, 1 out of 19, so he's trying to bunt to keep himself out of a prolonged slump.
Not a bad idea.
Pico delivers, and Soto is out on strikes. That's 5 strikeouts.
Now you know why he was trying to bunt.
Soto out on strikes. And it will bring around the top of the batting order Barry Larkin. Boy, Soto walking back to the dugout looks as if he lost his best friend after striking out. He was very slow and head down.
Usually the number 1 hitter will take some time when the pitcher runs down to first base or runs out a double. But it's tough to be too much out of breath from swinging and missing.
Here's Larkin. Leading off, Larkin nothing out of 2. And the first pitch from Pico is a strike.
Pico
continues to throw strikes.
He's found a home on that outside corner to the right-handers and the left-handers, and he's just staying out there with the sinker.
And this one is low. A ball and a strike. Pico split last year between Pittsfield and Iowa. 4-4 at Pittsfield, 6-5 at Iowa. This year 5-2 at Iowa. Ground ball by Law, deep short. Dunston, long throw. He got him. Dunston with a long throw from deep short throws out Larkin to retire the side. 3 up, 3 down, and as we move into the bottom of the 6th, the Cubs lead 3-0. Cubs have a 3-0 lead. Let's take another look at the play by Dunston to end the top half of the 6th, and the ball hit by Larkin.
Sean Dunston is playing shortstop like the best shortstop in baseball the last week and a half.
And a 1-hopper gobbled up by Larkin, and Palmeiro is out number 1 going after the first pitch. Let's take another look at the pickup on the play by Dunston.
He's able to make this play continually because of the strong arm. He plants the back foot and then drives off it and gets him at shortstop, and that was a fine play by Barry Larkin.
One out. Here's Andre Dawson. Andre with a home run in the first inning. Well, it's been a while since he'd hit one out here at Wrigley Field. Dawson fly to center in the third.
Tommy Helms in his waning hours as the interim skipper of the Reds.
Andre takes this one down and away. So he's in front on the count. Dawson has 11 home runs, 3 here at Wrigley Field. Prior to the one today, the last home run he had hit here came on the 21st of April off Brent Smith of the Expos. The other one came off John Smiley of the Pirates on April the 15th. Ground ball. Larkin has this one. And Dawson's out number 2.
In the Consort Control Pitcher Award race, it's Smith, Leary, Perez, Nepper, and Scott in the National League, and Roger Clemens, along with Candelaria, Swindell, Viola, and LaPointe in the American League. That's the Consort Control Pitcher Award race.
Here's Ryan Sandberg now. Sandberg has grounded out and flied out. Jim and Jill Langford here rooting for the Cubs. Jim has a new book out about the Cubs, runs, hits, and errors. The pitch is high and outside, ball one. Some great anecdotes in that one. That one on the heels of the game is never over. The 1-0 pitch. Strike call. 1-1. Palmeiro's gone out short to first. Likewise Dawson. And a popper. Short center. Out goes Larkin for this one. Under it. Waiting, and he makes the catch to retire the side. 3 up, 3 down. We've gone through 6. Harry's coming back with the score. 3-0 Cubs.
Well, Steve Saw and Harry Carey back at Wrigley Field, where young Jeff Pico has a 3-0 lead going into the 7th. He's given only 2 hits. Only 2 balls, other than the 2 hits, have been hit out of the infield. One a fly ball to left caught. The other one a fly ball to right caught. Here's a pitch a little bit low on Chris Sabo. Sabo for 2. 2 balls, no strikes. Pico's pit. Strike call. Pico, a big 51 on his uniform. Here's a University of Michigan boy. Sabo facing him. Now the pitch. Swung on. A high fly ball might be out of here. It's going to be caught right up against the ivy. Holy cow. Palmeiro went to the ivy, reached up, and pulled it down. Nice play.
Looked like it was going to go out of the park, but the wind grabbing it just at the end. You see Rafael reaching for the wall, feeling the vines, and knowing that he has at least 1 step of room left.
Don Nystrom of Anheuser-Busch on hand with the group. This, Bud's for you. 1 man out, nobody on. Cal Daniel. Jeff Pico. A sensational debut. Here's a pitch. Strike call. This is what Variety, the showbiz paper, would call Pico's smash and debut. There's the pitch a little bit low. 1 ball, 1 strike.
I keep on expecting him to run out there with the music between innings from A Star Is Born, because he's putting together quite a ball game.
1-1 pitch. A little bit outside. Pico's smash and shy debut. That's pretty good. That's pretty good, Arnie. 2 balls and a strike. That evens it up 2-2. Boy, I tell you, though, do we want him to pitch a shutout in his debut? He can't get better than. 2 balls, 2 strikes. He fouls it off. Eric Davis next. Cal Daniels is 0 for 2. Hit the ball sharply his first time up. It was deflected by Pico, and Dunston made a remarkable play to get him. The pitch. He had a cut. 2-2.
Pico has the same type of movement on his ball that Rick Russell has. He even throws the same type of breaking ball. Although he's a whole lot younger, he seems to be very wise as far as the ways of pitching are concerned.
The pitch. There's the drive. Right center field. This ball might be out of here. Up against the fence. And he holds it to a single with a strong throw to second base. I think Daniels thought the ball was gone. Dawson made a quick recovery and followed with a great arm. But that's the longest single I ever saw a fast man ever give.
Andre plays it well. He doesn't get trapped in too close to the wall, and the bounce comes right to him, and then he fires a bullet right to Sean Dunston, and Daniels thinks better of trying to stretch that one to a double.
And so a runner at first with one out. 2 balls have been hit hard this inning. Pico into a stretch. Daniels the lead. There's Eric Davis taking a strike. A breaking ball. He's 0 for 2. There's a strike again. Davis was caught out on strike in the 4th. Pico has 5 strikeouts. Hasn't walked anybody. He's allowed 3 hits.
And now the bullpen is up and going.
Ooh, a little bit inside.
Looks like Capel and Perry down in the pen.
Pico looks down. Eric Davis the hitter. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Aim for the outside corner, missed it. And the count 2-2. There he goes. The runner going to 3. They're going to get him. He's out trying to steal from Jody Davis to Ryan Sandberg. The count on Eric Davis goes to 3-2. That helped.
Unusual play by the Reds. You're 3 runs down. You decide to run, and Jody tosses one right on the money to Sandberg. Daniels just slides right into the tag. He's out easily at second. And the Reds might have run themselves out of an inning.
3 balls, 2 strikes, the pitch. He swings and he fouls the bat. Jeff Pico was 22 in February. 3-2 pitch. Swung on, fouled again, out of play. Pico was the Cubs 13th selection in the June '84 draft. He was recommended by Tom Davis, the Cubs scout. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Hey, struck him out. Strikeout number 6. And so it's no runs, 1 hit, no error, and nobody left. We go to the bottom of the 7th. The score: Cubs 3, Reds nothing. Aye! Let me hear ya. Good and loud. All right, Gary. A 1, a 2, a 3. Take me out to the take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care. I never get back. Oh, it's root for the Cubs. If they don't win, it's a shame for it. Here's Mark Race to lead it off. First pitch is in there, a curve for a strike. 3-0 Cubs. Now the pitch, here it is. Line drive, base hit. Mark Race singles sharply to center, and he's on there. He's 2 out of 3 today and hit the ball very hard the 3rd time, sending Collins racing almost to the center field wall. Here's Jody Davis.
And with the addition of Jeff Pico to the roster, the Cubs now have 12 homegrown products on their roster out of the 24 players. Let's see if Don Zimmer decides to use a hit and run here. Jody trying to drive the ball to right field and stay out of the double play.
Now the pitch. There goes the runner, swung on and popped up in the short left center field. Is going to be caught, and it is by Cal Daniel. The hit and run was on. It was a bad pitch for Jody. He had to swing at it to protect the runner. He popped out, one away. That brings up Vance Law, who's 1 out of 2. They're here from Lubbock, Texas, to cheer for the Cubs. How about that for the best seat in the house? And that youngster seeing this game from every conceivable angle. Here's Law. The pitch. Into the dirt, ball one. A group of high school students. The Varsity Club of Elmwood Park High School, under the direction of John Kingsmill and Randy Conrad, are here. A lot of youngsters. Now the pitch. Over the first. Dan and Josh Reynolds from Gilbert, Arizona are here. The pitch is a strike call. A couple of more honeymooners, Rosie and Steve Augustine from Valparaiso, Indiana. Just married yesterday. Watching the ball game today. There are the theory. You watch the Cubs together, you live happily married forever. Here's a pitch outside. They thought a hit and run might be on. Pitch out. 2 balls and a strike. 5th and 6th graders from Douglas MacArthur Elementary School and Hoffman Estates are here. 2 balls and a strike. Soto's pitched a good game himself. He's only given up 6 hits. The pitch. There's a hit for Law to left field. Here's Grace stopping at second. Law singles to left. And that brings Dunson, who's 2 out of 2, and has raised his average in the last 4 days from 234 to 271.
Bo Diaz out to have a word with Mario Soto. He knows he can't afford too many more. So he's going out there trying to tell him to keep the ball away from Dunston, who seems to be swinging the bat very well, looking for something inside off Soto, and he's gotten it a couple times. And now the bullpen up and going for Cincinnati.
I thought maybe Grace would try for third base on Law's hit.
Looked like it, Harry. It looked like when he rounded second that he was going to come on to third. But he didn't want to test the arm of Daniels.
All right, here's Dunston now, 2 out of 2. Low fastball. There from Marion, Ohio. Hey, a balk has been called. A balk has been called. The pitch won't count. And it's runners on at second and third. Mario Soto balk. And now Dunston has runners at second and third. Trent Stanley and Nick Emery are here from Marion, Ohio. Here's the ball coming up.
Let's see if it's one of the hesitation or lack of hesitation.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
There's a high fly ball to short right, and by drive, it does a base hit. A 3 for 3 for Dunston. and an RBI. That's his second run batted in today. He dropped it in front of Eric Davis. And the Cubs now lead 4-0. And Dunston now has driven in 25 runs, or rather 21 runs this year. And he's raised his batting average to about 275.
He dumps the ball in front of Davis. Davis is not running like he usually does because of the hamstring problem, so there's really no chance to get to this ball. And the Cubs are starting to pull away. They've got 4 for Jeff Pico.
And here's Pico, the hitter. Pitch out. They thought a squeeze might be on. And Bo Diaz came out of the chute ready to throw.
That was a safety squeeze, if anything. Pico did square around, but the man was not coming from third base. Vance Law hanging back.
Now the pitch. Again, the safety squeeze. This time he did attempt to bunt and miss. Linda Mike Nelson and family from New Berlin, Wisconsin, watching the game here. And also from Tupelo, Mississippi.
If O'Neill releases a little early, Dunston can get a pretty good jump and is likely to go, perhaps on this pitch or the next one.
Davey Martinez next. There he goes. The throw goes through, but he is safe. So runners are now at second and third. A stolen base for Dunston.
Stolen base number 6 for Sean Dunston. He gets a great jump. No chance to get him at second. Can watch it one more time. Throw is up.
And so now runners are at second and third. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count. Pico held up on a curveball, and the count is even up 2-2. Graduating seniors from Indianapolis on hand here. The pitch. He missed it. And strikes out. Again, he tried to bunt the ball. And Pico getting a nice hand from the crowd as he takes off his cap, walks to the dugout. 22 years old. His cup overfloweth so far today. He's pitched a 3-hit shutout for 7 innings.
And Scott Breeden coming out to have a word with Mario Soto. It's likely to be a pitching change because you have the left-hander down in the pen, and Soto has thrown some pitches, and that's going to be it for Soto.
We'll have more. Soto is talking with the third base umpire, Terry Tata, who I think was trying to rush things along a little bit. Now the left-hander is coming out of the bullpen, and we'll tell you more about him following this message. This is Tim Mertzes, who will relieve yesterday. There you see Soto. He didn't pitch a bad ball game. He's not happy with it. His team hasn't scored, and he leaves trailing 4-0.
He got shut out last time against St. Louis, and he looks up on the board and finds his teammates with another lack of support effort behind him. And he ran into a hot pitcher in Jeff Pico today, so Tim Mertzes comes in. He threw 2 1/3 yesterday, gave up a run on a hit. The ERA is at 1.50, making his 9th appearance. 12 innings, 9 hits. He's given up no home runs and hit a batter. He's walked 6. He struck out 10.
All right. Davey Martinez is going to hit for himself. Although the Cubs could counter with a right-handed hitter in Darren Jackson. But Martinez is a fine defensive outfielder. The Cubs are leading 4-0. Runners at second and third, 2 out. Dunston's on a roll. He's had 11 hits in his last 16 times at bat. That's an average of .688. And he's raised his batting average to .275 thereabout for the year. He started with hitting only .234 before he went on the roll. There's a strike call.
Not a bad idea, laying one down with a left-hander on the mound. Sabo is back, even with the bag at third base. If Martinez gets it down to third baseline, there's no way a left-hand pitcher can throw him out.
Birch is 6'7", about 240 pounds. Outside, Mike and Chuck Dermanuel from Visalia, California here. There's Chuck Cartier. Flashing a sign. 1 ball, 1 strike. There's a drive in a left field. Daniel is there, and he makes the catch. But the Cubs score a run. On 3 hits, no errors, they leave 2. At the end of 7, the Cubs out. With Steve Stone, Harry Carey back at Wrigley Field, we go into the 8th. Paul O'Neill, who has 1 of the 3 hits, will lead it off. Jeff Pico's pitch. Curve in there, a beauty. They're here from Springhouse Restaurant in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Big group. There's a bouncing ball right to Grace. He's got it. Easy out.
I think that at bat shows just what Jeff Pico has done all day. He had O'Neill out on his front foot, couldn't get anything behind the swing. He just tapped it to Mark Grace. Unable to time this young man, who is changing his location as well as his velocity on almost every pitch.
I think the true story of this game, and I touched on it before, you never know what a manager sees in a kid. Jeff Pico wasn't on the roster in spring training. Don Zimmer was a brand new manager. He was looking at a lot of his hopefuls. He saw something in this boy he liked. And what he said he liked was the fact that he kept the ball down. And he didn't walk many men. And so he's been very high on him. I think higher. There's a drive now in the right field, way back. It's over Dawson's head. Here's a throw. They got a chance. Nope, a double for Davy Collins. He doubled over Dawson's head.
Only the second double of the year for Dave Collins, who drives the ball over Andre's head. And then with the good wheels, moves into second base.
I think he surprised Dawson with his power on that one. So it's a double. That's a second hit for Collins.
And the Goose is up and throwing in the bullpen. Jose Rio up and throwing for the Reds.
Here now is Bo Diaz. Pico's been able to get him twice previously. With a man in scoring position, he struck him out in the second. Got him to hit into a double play in the 5th. There's a pitch. He pops it up. Mark Grace has got to play in foul territory. And there's 2 away. Diaz popped out to Grace. 2 gone. That brings up Jeff Treadway.
You're right about the impression in spring training, though, Harry. You know, everybody says spring training doesn't mean much, but to young players it certainly does. Now, it didn't pay dividends right away because he didn't make the cut, although he was one of the later cuts in spring training. But as soon as they needed somebody, they remembered what this guy looked like. He also got off to a good start at AAA. And anybody can keep the ball down and sink it, especially in Wrigley Field, has got a good shot at winning some games.
2 men are out. Now the pitch to Treadway. The crowd pulling for the kid to get a shutout. Slow curve in there for a strike called. The Holland Camps are here from Murfreesboro, Illinois. 1 strike. A little bit outside. A ball and a strike.
19,038, 19038.
19,038 paid after the holiday yesterday. How about that? The pitch. Fouled it out of play. 1-2.
Leo Garcia in the on-deck circle. He'll come on to pinch hit for Tim Burtsis if the Reds can keep it alive.
They're here from Lincoln School in Calumet City. 2 out. Now the pitch. There's a smash right to Sandberg. He's got it on 1 bounce over to first to retire the side. The ball was well hit, but Sandberg edged back, caught it on 1 bounce, and threw him out. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. We go into the bottom of the 8th. Cubs leading 4-0.
I'm a man who likes to have some fun. So every day I make sure I have me some. I root for the team that makes you stand up and sing. And I go for the beer that's known as the king. I'm a Cub fan and a Bud man. I'm a Cub fan, oh yeah, and I'm a Bud man. So come along and join me, everyone, and I'll show you 2 sure ways to have some fun.
Hey, let's have some fun. All right. Holy cow.
I'm a Cub fan, oh yeah, and I'm a Bud man. I'm a Cub fan.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Chicago National League Ball Club, which has a right of approval of the announcers and is intended solely for the private, non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Chicago National League Ball Club is prohibited.
There you see Jeff Pico. 1 more inning to go to get his shutout. Calvin Schiraldi sitting next to him. Here's Palmeiro leading it off. He's 0 for 3, and he was hitless yesterday, and only 1 other time this year has he ever gone 2 games in a row without getting a hit. Bertzes pitches. Strike call. A bus full of prime-timers from Charleston, Illinois are here. 1 ball, 1 strike. There's a ground ball. That'll be easy. Treadway throws out Palmeiro. 1 away. Brings up Andre Dawson. He's 1 out of 3. Here's a guy, Charlie Caspar, drove from Sarasota, Florida. Drove on a bike, on a motorcycle to see this game. Watches the Cubs all the time down there on TV. Speaking of Sarasota, I wonder how my good friend Casey Gunsmart, proprietor of the great Colombian restaurant down there, and Ed Smith and Ted Morton are doing. Well, we're going to have some changes. We'll tell you about it following this message. There's Luis Quinones coming in to play second base. He'll bat 9th in their batting order. And Jose Rio will be the new pitcher.
And he's been very effective at 5-1, 2.51 ERA, on for the 26th time. He's a fireballing right-hander. That fastball right around 95 miles an hour.
Here's the pitch. Swung and he missed. Dawson hit his first home run at Wrigley Field since April the 21st. In the first inning today, also his first homer since he hit one down in Houston off Nolan Ryan, May 13th. 1 ball, 1 strike. But Andre now has 11 for the year. The pitch. He had a cut, fouled it off.
It's almost amazing that he could go 7 weeks into this season with only 1 game-winning RBI, and he's on the verge of getting his 3rd and his 2nd in as many days.
1 ball, 2 strikes. He struck him out. And Dawson goes down swinging. Here's Sandberg. He's 0 for 3. Jeff Pico, 3 outs away from a sensational debut, a 4-hit shutout. Boy, the kitty core of Don Zimmer's pitching staff, they average 24 years in age per man. The fellows who are now making up the rotation.
How about Les Lancaster, the elder statesman at 26?
There's a drive. Barry Larkin over to first to retire the side. So, at the end of 8, the Cubs lead 4-0. Harry Carey back to the ballpark. We're going to the 9th inning. And this crowd pulling for this 22-year-old rookie, Jeff Pico, to get what they want him to get. A shutout in his major league debut. First pitch in there. Luis Quinones, who used to be with the Cubs. Good hitter, switch hitter. There's a pitch a little bit inside.
Quinones is a good low ball hitter, so that will be a challenge for Pico, who's been keeping him down most of the afternoon. And the goose is ready just in case.
1 ball, 1 strike. The low. Two balls and a strike. There's a high pop fly, short center field, going to be caught. 1 out. One away. Watch the pitch that Quinones swings at. He golfed it right off the ground. 1 out. Here is Barry Larkin. He's 0 for 3.
Pico only completed 1 game of his 10 starts at Iowa, but he only walked 18 men in 68 1/3 innings, and none here today.
He'll join the class of Cubs who have pitched shutouts this year. Larkin pops it up, and here is Sandberg. 2 men out. And this crowd now getting to its feet. There you see him, a happy young man from Antioch, California. Everybody on their feet. Here is Chris Sabo. He's nothing under 3, but he hit the ball deep his last time up. Handsome kid. Strike call. 0-1 the count. Swings and he pops the foul back out of play. He's only 1 pitch away from a 4-hit shutout.
Look at that stat right there, brought to us by Ned Coletti.
Billy Last, the last rookie to pitch a shutout in 1934. He fouls it back. It's been 54 years since a Cub rookie pitcher has pitched a shutout in his debut. Ned Coletti came up with that interesting bit of trivia. And not so trivia. 0-2. High pop fly. Benson's there. The kid has done it. A 4-hit shutout. And he's being, look at Don Zimmer trotting out. Look at Mark Grace, a graduate from the Cub minor league system too. Look at a handsome kid. There's Mark Grace, his arm around him. That, boy, oh boy, that makes the goose pimples come out. I know how happy he is. What a day.
What a moment. Everybody is ecstatic. Nobody quite as happy as Jeff Pico. Look at Don Zimmer. He just can't say enough to the young man who came out here and shut him out on 4 hits, didn't walk anybody, and was in command from the first pitch to the last pitch.
All right. And I think it was poetic justice that the last out of the game